Hi, welcome to this episode. Hopefully, I am close enough to the mic that you can hear me. I am wearing the exact same thing as my last video, which I might post this one before because I was talking about that one maybe being my last for a while. Haven't decided yet. But then I I realized that I wanted to talk a little bit more, and I I didn't really. I don't know. I'm not like in the mood to talk, if that makes sense, but I want to discuss a little bit about relationship kind of things that I've learned along the way and red flags that you need to recognize and not try to play off as pink ones for whatever reason. I I've learned a lot through personal experience as well as other methods, whether it's through my research, through books, through schooling, through other people and their experiences, whatever. I've learned some things along the way. Okay. And I just want to start by saying that obviously, since I talked about narcissists in some other videos, I thought that I should make a video talking a little bit about red flags and things to look out for. And so here we are. But let me just begin by saying that I understand if you recognize that you're in a toxic situation and you feel like you can't get out of it. And I also understand if you are in a very bad and abusive situation and you see it and you want to get out of it, but you feel like you cannot, whether it's financially, it's dangerous or whatever. So let me just start off by really saying that if you want out and you don't feel like you have the resources to get out and you just feel trapped and like there is no other way, I understand. And also, there are some resources that I encourage you, not forcing, just encourage you to look out for. I I have a few hotlines on my website, but hopefully I will remember to put them below this video as well. If I don't, look up a either local number or you can look up national hotlines or wherever you live. There are a lot of resources online as well where you can reach out to centers, to places that help victims, and they can help set you up with resources on getting out. And for anybody that says, why don't you just leave? Why can't you just leave? If it were that easy, everybody would do it. Sometimes people get so broken down in those relationships that they've lost this who they really are. They've lost themselves. They've lost their self-worth. They have been so broken down that they feel like a shell of who they used to be. And they could also even be to the point where they have no other identity outside of it. They can't leave it because they have been so far manipulated into believing that they're not worth it, that they never make it. They this, they that, or they're with someone that has fully threatened them if they try, and they don't believe that the system would ever help them. That's real. That's legit. And studies have proven that the most dangerous time for a person in an abusive relationship is when they leave or when they try to leave. That's the most dangerous time. So understand that it's not that simple for some people that are in it. It's not as simple as just leaving. If you have financial ties, if you have, like, when you are in a relationship, a long term relationship, you end up really intertwined with each other. So it can be very difficult. If you share children together, that makes it way more difficult. If you have been manipulated into believing that you wouldn't be able to figure anything out on your own, that makes it difficult. If you have been threatened, that makes it really difficult. It's not easy. It's not as simple as just saying, we'll just leave. And also to the people that want to know how somebody ends up in those situations. Um, well, they don't usually start off that way. They hardly ever, if ever, start off that way. There might be some signs in the beginning. That's some of the stuff that I want to talk about right now. And that's why it's important to pay attention to the signs and to trust yourself. Because if you have grown up in a toxic situation, that's going to make you less likely to understand the signs. It's going to feel too normal. And, or if you've already had a toxic relationship, you might not yet be to a point where you're recognizing the red flags. You're still in that mode of blaming yourself, and they're helping you blame yourself. So you're not really getting it. Like, you need to get it. And unfortunately, it can take time until you're in it and you're intertwined and you're like emotionally invested, where you realize the rose-colored glasses have come off. Oh my God, this person is not who I thought they were. They're being awful. And then you have to put them back on to get through it. And then they come off again. And it's like this cycle until you can just throw them across the room and then they're just gone. And even if you have to stay in the situation a little bit longer, at least you're able to fully recognize and start to heal and see that it's not you, it's not your fault, and you were bamboozled. Okay, you got, and they're good at manipulating. Also, if you can hear, my cat is in my lap and he's purring and it's adorable. I don't know how sensitive this mic is going to be to stuff like that with the Zoom. Sometimes Zoom cuts out background, other times not. I also need to adjust my chair. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's never a simple and easy situation, and that's one of the reasons why paying attention is so important, and why a lot of people are hyper vigilant on paying attention to any sort of red flags and immediately walking away from dating that person. And you know what? That's the smart thing to do. That is the smart thing to do. There was a time where I thought, oh, but you're not really giving that person a chance to learn what you like and what you don't like, and like, all the things, figuring each other out. You're not giving them a chance to be what you want from a partner. And now I've realized that's dumb. That's dumb. Don't do that. Don't be like that, because you're going to allow yourself to dismiss things that should not be dismissed. Those red flags are going to become pink flags. And you shouldn't have to basically train a partner. That's awful. They should just be the thing. And that's not to say that they are going to be perfect and that you should expect people to be perfect. You're not perfect. They're not perfect. But there are things that you need to realize if it's worth putting up with, if it's worth what you actually want in your relationship. For some people, because this is a big one for a lot of relationships, I don't get it. But there are some people that don't care if their partner is looking at others online. If, for example, because I'm just going to speak as a woman, this is going to make it a lot easier. So there's a lot of women that if their man is looking at pictures of other women online, or they're watching videos of them and they're buying their photos, or they're buying their adult content, or they're in any way participating in their adult content, which includes following their account or going to seek it out, that is cheating for a lot of people. For others, they don't care. Oh, it's just the internet. I do it too. It doesn't matter. You need to decide what is for you and what isn't. And you also need to be honest. This is the number one thing in a relationship. Be honest. Be honest. If you are the kind of person that is not okay with that, and you tell your partner that, and your part in the beginning, before you're like an official thing even, and they say, same, I'm not okay with that either. Good. That's a green flag. Unfortunately, a lot of people lie about that. And then you realize later on, because you found it, like, oh, I thought you said you weren't like that. Well, then the gaslighting happens. Mhm. So that's the moment that you realize this is where the awareness kicks in. They lied. I need to not deal with this because it's not going to get better. Okay? If anything, they'll just find a new way to hide it from you. Okay? So that's why so many women are saying as soon as they show you that they are not for you, leave because it's not it is unlikely to ever get better when it comes to morals and honesty. That's that's so in line with loyalty. If a person cannot be loyal, they are just not loyal, whether to you or to anybody else. Loyalty is loyalty. If they are talking shit about you behind your back to their friends, they're not loyal. If you don't want them looking at other women, talking to other women in a way that's inappropriate or disrespectful or checking other women out or whatever, if you feel disrespected and they are not being loyal, there is no gray area for that. There is no gray area for that. Okay. It is very black and white. You are either loyal or you are not loyal. Period. That's it. That's all there is to it. And once you have been betrayed, you'll never trust that person again. Why would you? Especially if it's like betrayal after betrayal after betrayal. And so you have to know what you're willing to put up with and trying to dismiss what other people believe or dismiss them and just think, oh, it's not that big of a deal or oh, it's not cheating. Oh, it's you're insecure. You're just insecure. Like, no, you're disrespectful. You are disloyal. It's not me. It's not a me problem. I said exactly what my expectations were. You agreed to them. You lied. It's that simple. So don't we have to stop with the narrative of a woman just being insecure or jealous when it comes to shit like that. Like that's not on other women. That's not insecurity at all. That's not jealousy at all. Why do people call it that? Jealousy is like I want what you have and I don't have it and I'm just damn you for that. That's more like jealousy, not calling you out for being disloyal, not calling you out for being a liar, not calling you out for gaslighting. That is not what jealousy is. I don't know why it's gotten so convoluted, but stop it. Don't let them try to make you think that you're just insecure and that you're just jealous. No, that's not the case at all. And if people were just honest, then they would be able to just right off the bat align with the other people that are cool with it. Problem solved. There's plenty. There's billions of people out there. It's not that big of a deal. Just stop lying and align with the people that you actually align with. Save everybody some issues. Okay. And also manipulators, toxic people, narcissists, people with narcissistic traits, all of them, they don't like it when you call them out on their shit. They don't like that. They're going to gaslight. They're going to get mad. They're going to do all these things. A healthy person, they don't do that. So if they're doing that, they're not a healthy person. There's your answer right there. Okay? Go. Red flag, go. And the more you see these in the beginning, these red flags, the better. And that is why I also, to my next point, I fully agree with the people that say take your time with someone. That does not mean that you won't get bamboozled. You'll just be less likely to. Take your time to to know somebody. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to somebody who's really bad, like they don't show that to their friends. But if you are paying attention, you might see enough there to realize that that's not going to be for you. Just know that they could still be playing you. They could still be manipulating you. They could still be hiding who they really are. And just keep being vigilant about it. You can't trust anybody. That's what it comes down to. You can't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. And there's reasons for that. Mm, maybe maybe that's not healthy, but maybe it's protective. So I've done a lot of self work, a lot of self healing, a lot of the things. And I had to get out of that um, blaming myself for stuff. That was one of the big things where I had to stop blaming myself for the shit that I ended up in. And um, that's not easy. It's not easy, but you do have to get to a point where you just own it. You're like, yeah, I was bamboozled. Yeah, I I saw that red flag and I dismissed it. Yeah, I kept going when I shouldn't have. Yeah, I definitely allowed myself to be blamed when I should not have been blamed. My blame is that I fell for it. Oops. And then you move on. You move forward. You do what you got to do. And I I just it is important to try to get to know somebody first. Don't allow yourself to just be love bombed and like fall right into that trap. And also, um, it's it's so true. I'm telling you, it's so true when people are trying they're telling you because they've been through it and they don't want you to have to go through it if they can save you. So look for the red flags. Be hyper vigilant about them. If you see something that's off, it's probably off. If you feel it in your intuition, it's probably right. And don't dismiss yourself and don't try to gaslight yourself by dismissing it. Don't gaslight yourself by, oh, I don't want to be toxic by not being okay with that. Like that's not that's not being toxic. That's your morals. Okay? And if they are good with it and they're on the same page and they understand, then perfect. Perfect. As long as they're not lying about it. If you are one of those people that is not okay with having secrets, why is that a problem when you're honest about that? Why would that be a problem? You're the one being honest about it. That person can decide if that's too much for them or if that's right on track and they feel the exact same way. The problem is when people lie. So if you're one of those people that has dealt with a lot of toxic people, so you don't have trust anymore, so you have all these defense mechanisms in place and you've got these coping things in place and like yeah, you need to work on yourself. Let's not gloss over that fact. Like you need to go through a lot of healing, but there are still going to be things that will not be healed until you are in a healthy relationship. And that person needs to understand like you've been through a lot and lay it out on the table, but it's so scary how narcissists will use that. So don't do it right off the bat. No, become get to know them first. Get to know them first. That way you're not giving them the blueprint for how to manipulate you. And before it becomes a relationship, it needs to really be laid out there. You need to know what they want and what they're okay with and what doesn't align with them. And you need to provide that for them as well. It needs to be spoken about. Communication is super important. And this is not going to completely save you from ever getting hurt. It's just going to lessen the likelihood. But again, as soon as you're seeing any of the like red flags, go immediately go. And if anybody's telling you, oh, you are a red flag because you just asked me why this girl is texting me and I said she's just a friend, like you're a red flag. Okay, if that's what you think, then you need to go because I'm not okay with that. They're just a friend. If I'm feeling suspicious about that, there's a reason for it. So if you think I'm being a red flag because I'm saying I'm not comfortable with y'all's little secret relationship, then bye. I'll go. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. It's only complicated when you make it complicated. It's only complicated when you get so intertwined with each other that you make it hard to just go. But regardless, this is where you need to be on the same page with things. Because for the right person, that's not going to be too much For a healthy person, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you about her. She's this person, and this is you know what? If it were me and I had somebody ask me about it, I'd be like, here, check the thread. I don't care. There's nothing inappropriate there. But if you are not comfortable with me talking to them, I'm gonna talk to my friend and let them know, like, hey, they're uncomfortable with us hanging out because we hooked up before, or there's a vibe. Say it. That's all you gotta do. Say it and be on the same page about it. It's not that complicated. That doesn't make you the bad person. It's just you either are a good fit with somebody or you're not. And you know what? Being single is a good thing. Be single. It's not a bad thing. Why is that a bad thing? You have so much less stress to deal with if you are single versus being in an unhealthy relationship. Why is that a bad thing? So anyway, so if you know what narcissistic personality disorder is, then you already know. But if you don't, I do have a video on that. I have two actually. Go check them out. And then you'll learn a little bit more. If you already know about it, maybe check them out, see if you learned something new there. That's going to help you on what to look for. Somebody can be absolutely beautiful one moment and a monster the next. That is a big red flag. Obvious. I say obviously, but you know, it gets complicated sometimes, and I understand that. I have fallen for it too. Okay, I have, and that's one of the reasons why I've learned so much. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. So, anybody that is around you, that's close with you, that loves you, and they're trying to tell you, I don't think that person's good for you. I don't think that person's worth shit. They don't have the emotional investment that you have. So maybe you're not seeing it clearly. Maybe you've got those rose colored glasses on and you need to actually hear them out. If you're still not really sure, go to a therapist or a counselor. Lay it all out there. Be fully honest and ask them, like, does it sound like I'm being manipulated here? Or like I'm really confused. If you're confused, that's a sign right there. But sometimes it really is just like that you've been through a lot and so you just aren't sure. That's when you need to get another opinion. Okay? Get another opinion from somebody qualified. Preferably. Someone that really has your back, preferably. Sometimes, I mean, there have been plenty of women that have posted on TikTok about her situation. She genuinely was confused, didn't know, and then it met up with the right people that were able to say exactly like, dude, no, you're being manipulated. That happened to me. I know what you're going through. That you're being manipulated. It's dumb. You get weird, you get crazy because it drives you nuts in a way, okay? It drives you nuts. Accept it. It's fine. You heal. You'll get past it. First is acceptance. Okay, I got God. Now I need to heal. There you go. Now, the big problem is if you are not trying to get out of that situation. If you are knowingly ignoring the red flags, the signs, the toxicity, what are you doing? Stop that. You need to learn about the signs. That's validation also, by the way. If you're learning about the toxicity, like if you watch the narcissistic video and you realize like, oh wow, okay, well, there's some of that there in my relationship. Well, now you know. Now you can be more aware. And hearing the simple fact that if you are not okay with something, that doesn't mean that you should have to put up with it. It's just a fact. It's a fact. It's who you are. It's how you feel. It is what it is. If you don't want your boyfriend going to a strip club, then don't have a boyfriend that wants to go to the strip club. It's that simple. That's a morality. That's a moral thing. That's a respect thing. That's a loyalty thing for a lot of people. Others don't care. It is what it is. If you are not okay with it, you are not okay with it. You don't have to betray yourself while also allowing your partner that's supposed to love you and be there for you be loyal to you and respect you, they're betraying you as well. So you're betraying yourself while they're betraying you. Why? Why? So, yeah, anyway, things that you need to look for in the beginning: love bombing, somebody jumping in way too quickly, and let's just, it's nuanced. Sometimes it's okay. It works out that way. There are people that have never met each other, they're in a range or barely know each other, or they're in an arranged marriage and that's gone really well for them. But for others, these are some signs that in hindsight they realize was a very bad thing. So watch out for love bombing. And that's something that, like, if you're not maintaining that energy throughout the relationship, if you're together for 50 freaking years and you gave her the princess treatment in the beginning and then you stop after you got her, you suck. You're not worth shit. You need to go. And so watch out for that. And you need to actually be able to maintain that energy. And it's very much a partnership. So if you're working, you're doing the household responsibilities, and they have fully manipulated you and they've done, like, they're just what's it called? Like, there's a word for it. I can't think of it. It's like incompetent, something, hmm, whatever. Basically, they're acting like they can't really clean. Oh, nobody knows how to wipe off the counter. It's so hard. It's just, oh, I don't know how to do it right. That's why it's so messy. I just can't. Like, you're better at it. You're just better at it, babe. You're just better at it. You have to be the one to clean because I just don't do it right, and that just annoys you, right? Right? Okay, good. Now I don't have to clean anymore. Got her. Mm-mm. They know how to clean. Are they really that stupid and incompetent that they don't know how to clean? So if they lived on their own, they just live in filth. That actually applies for a lot of people. And some people don't care, and that's fine. But if you care and you don't want to live in filth, you should not be the one to take on all the domestic labor. If they don't want to help you, tell them that they need to hire a maid then, a cleaning service, not one that's going to disrespect you, like the topless maid service. If you're not okay with that, then don't let them do that. Get out immediately. Um, if you're good with that, I mean, there you go. But regardless, you might be putting up with a lot of crap that you shouldn't be putting up with. And that's really the point. That's the full point. I can give you more things to look out for, but it really comes down to what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. If you're interested in somebody that has crazy guys' nights all the time and you're like, cool, I'm going to go have a girls' night. There you go. It works out. If you are with somebody that's a gamer and that's all they want to do is game, and you're like, cool, I'm going to go read a book. I don't care. Or I'm going to game too. I don't care. Then that works. But if you're with somebody and that doesn't align, it doesn't align. Don't try to force it. Why are you trying to force it? If there's a compromise there, then that's good. That's healthy if it's a compromise. But if you are miserable and you've got important things that don't align and you're feeling neglected, you're feeling disrespected, you're feeling like they're not loyal, you are being mistreated, you're in a bad situation, then it just is a bad situation. You shouldn't have to put up with it. Okay? You shouldn't have to deal with it when it doesn't align with you. Just be single. Be single until you find somebody that does align with you. And if you never find it, there's cats, and animals are amazing, obviously. And there's plenty of toys out there for you to handle yourself. Okay? And statistically speaking, you're better off that way anyway, because the ones that don't really care about you to begin with, they're not going to take care of your needs in that way. If it's not a good fit, even if they kind of do try, if it's not a good fit, you're still not going to be satisfied. Your needs are not going to be met regardless, right? Right. So, anyway, you should be taken care of emotionally. You should be taken care of sexually. You should be taken care of in all of the ways in a relationship. It's a partnership. You're sharing a life with somebody. You should be able to be completely honest and open with each other about everything. Your morals should align, what you want in a relationship should align. And it's okay if that changes along the way, because that's normal. People should be growing. And if only one person in the relationship is growing and bettering themselves and the other person isn't, that's a problem. And these are a lot of things that need to be reassessed. And sometimes it absolutely helps to have an outsider, like having a counselor, a therapist, somebody that's actually really in alignment, because there are some that just aren't going to be a good fit. So you need to find somebody else. Um, a coach, then whatever it is, somebody that is a mediator that can say clarity and can help you all work through things, especially if you have a partner that you still really love each other and it's not a bad relationship, but it needs help and you both recognize that it needs help, then do the counseling together. Try to get that back. Try to get that spark back and the passion back and all of the things. And they'll give you exercises and stuff to go through. And if your partner and you are both doing the work, then that's a good thing. But if only one of you is doing the work, that kind of gives you an answer. That lets you know where their head's at. And if you're with somebody that's always like checking out that shiny new toy or they're just going to leave so easily, then what are you even doing? If you're with somebody that is not loyal to you, what are you even doing? Why? So know exactly what you want. If you don't know what you want, maybe talk to a professional to try to figure it out because you need to figure that out first. You need to know what is your absolute, I am not okay with this. You need to know that gray area of, I'm okay with it if, like, I'm okay with that as long as I know that person is trustworthy. I know that they're safe and they're not going to hurt me. And and there's some, I don't want to say stipulations, but some things there that can comfort you on the situation. So that's your little gray area. And then you've got your, I don't care about that at all. And so you have to know who you are and what you want. And if you need help from a professional to figure that out, then do that. And yeah, everybody should be also doing the work on themselves anyway. So whether it's some spiritual practices, therapy, counseling, coaching, I say coaching and counseling, but I feel like they're kind of in therapy and they're all kind of in the same realm. But yeah, so I kind of use it all interchangeably, but they're all technically different. But anyway, um, you have to know yourself before you can expect a partner to meet your needs. And for you to meet their needs, they need to know who they are and what they want. And expect you can't expect the wrong person to give you the right treatment. If you know that you want princess treatment, then that should be the bare minimum. The bare minimum of what you get. And it's not all about selfishness where you're getting princess treatment and then some, but you're not doing anything for them. You're just draining them and you're being awful to them. Like that's then you're the problem. So that's not what I mean. Okay. That's not what I mean. Don't try me. If you want princess treatment as the baseline, then that's what you should get. And they should also tell you exactly what they want. What is their version of princess treatment? You all need to have that conversation as part of being in a partnership. You converse, you know each other better than everyone else, and you're best friends. That's the way that it should be. Have the conversations. If you see anything that you are not okay with, that is your red flag. That is your red flag. Why are you still there? Why are you still putting up with it? What is it in yourself that is allowing you to stay there? And if it's for an emotional reason, then there is your signal. Like, okay, that's what I need to work on. There's my cue. That thing right there is what I need to heal and work on. Doesn't mean that you're the problem, by the way. It's just that if you recognize, um, like, oh, I'm with that person because I have abandonment issues and I feel deeply upset about this abandonment feeling, you need to work on your abandonment. And maybe the partnership is great except for that. And then it comes down to the conversation of why you feel abandoned and how you can help that. And a healthy relationship will work on those things together. A healthy relationship will work on everything together, and it will be done in a way that someone's not getting hurt from it. There's still going to be that loyalty. There's still going to be that honesty. There's still going to be that respect. And there will not be that gaslighting. There will not be lies. There will not be secrets. You won't be disrespected behind your back or in your face. And yeah, so anyway, like I said, originally I was going to talk more about specific red flags. If you want me to do that, you can definitely ask me to. But I realized that that can be kind of nuanced. That can be very personal. So just as a general, what is a red flag to you? What if, and that is things that you are not okay with. So start by realizing exactly what you want, exactly what you don't want. At least know what you want. At least know what you want and things that you are absolutely not okay with. And if you are talking to somebody that you like and you get to a point where you realize, like, oh, but there's this gray area, I'm not sure about that one. That's something to work through. That's something to figure out. You need to figure out if that is a gray area or if that's a hell no or a fuck yeah. You need to figure it out. Also, this isn't talked about enough either, but sexuality is very, very, very important in a relationship. That needs to align as well. Um, I think it's over 60% of women in a relationship are not satisfied. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And um, most women are not satisfied, and most women don't even get to finish. And those are just the statistics that aren't specifying if she's finishing herself. Think about that. Is a big deal. That's like, and that's something that your partner should want to be providing you is that satisfaction. And they should not be using you in a way where you don't get to finish. That's being used. That's not okay. That's not okay. Why are women conditioned that they are just to be used by a guy and he gets his and you didn't get to finish, but that should be okay with you because he he gave it to you, so you should be good. No, no, you should be. That's a whole nother conversation. But basically, it should be good for you. You should be finishing. You should do all the things. If not, that's something else to work on together. And if they're like just automatic on defense, maybe it wasn't approached the right way, or they just don't care. This is another aspect of when that mediator is helpful when you're speaking to a professional where you don't have to worry about them being in your friend circle. You don't have to worry about it being this awkward conversation with a family member. It's someone that professionally deals with it, and so you can share all of the maybe embarrassing or uncomfortable parts of the relationship, or which includes the sexual aspect of the relationship. You'll be able to talk about how um, he's not very good at this thing, or she doesn't do this thing that I want her to do, or whatever. Like, you all can talk about that and work through it and have that professional mediator who can help you work through it. And then it will also help it to not be like this back and forth with each other and hurt feelings and defensiveness and like all of that. So it can be helpful. And that's regarding any aspect of the relationship. That's one of the reasons why I decided to do the coaching, because I think the work is important. And I've spent so many hours and thousands of dollars trying to learn on how to help people. And there's always new things that come up. So it's also interesting. But anyway, number one, don't betray yourself. Don't, if you think you're being manipulated, you probably are. Learn as much as you can and don't gaslight yourself into putting up with things you shouldn't be putting up with and that you're not okay with. Don't let anybody else try to tell you that either. If you're not okay with it, you are not okay with it. That's it. Nothing else to it. You don't need more than that. That's your answer. All right. I hope this makes sense and I hope that it was helpful. I am out of time, so I will stop rambling. But if there were any specific questions, let me know. If there are any specific topics, let me know. You can also reach out through my contact form on my website. And let me think. I right now I am still open to potentially having people on my podcast that I did not personally ask, which I'm kind of bad about that, asking people. But if you're interested, you can go to contact form on my website. I need you to send me your public social media, preferably your TikTok. I don't really like social media, but your TikTok so I can see that you're a person, and uh topics that you want to discuss, and I might have you on. Be um, courteous of the scheduling, please. If you see if my schedule doesn't align with yours, but we really want to make it work, try to make it work. Same with my coaching, by the way. If you want to coach with me and the schedule that is provided doesn't align with you, especially for that, because it the work means a lot. So if you sign up to coach with me and you're in a whole nother time zone, the schedules are not aligning for whatever reason, then email me so we can figure it out. But also if you need to cancel or a pod, whatever, like try to give me a heads up because I am a very busy person. I have a lot on my plate. Okay. A lot, especially right now. Right now, I work full time. I'm in school full time. Plus, I'm in another course that is kind of part time, full time. And well, it's part time for me right now, and my business and other things. I have a lot going on. So, um, and everybody's busy. I get that. Sometimes things come up, and if you get sick and you need to cancel the last second, I get it. Um, but try to be cognizant and don't try to set things up with me just to cancel or be a no-show. Don't be a no-show. I'll try to have a backup plan, but I'm just saying that's like, why would you do that? That's not nice. Anyway, what else? I don't know. I don't know. But because my schedule being what it is right now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue doing these weekly or if I'm going to want to continue to do this weekly because I also need to consider myself. I need to take better care of myself. I have been running myself ragged and in burnout for way too long. And I cannot wait to graduate though. I cannot wait to graduate. So yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, ow. I don't know if you heard that, but I just whacked my ankle on the side of the something. Anyway, take care of yourself. If you are in a bad situation, a negative situation, a toxic situation, if you're unsure, if any of it, get some help. And if you need to do it in a very covert way, or you can't, if you don't have the finances to reach out to a professional and you don't have any insurance that covers that option, then there are still online resources. Do it carefully, but there's still going to be resources out there, and there are, excuse me, there are national hotlines, there are local resources, and like I said, online help as well. Try to find something to help. I hope that it gets better. If nothing else, you can reach out to those places, see what they say, learn as much as you can, read books. If you suspect that your partner is a psychopath, for example, learn about that in a way that you're not going to get caught because that's scary. That's a scary situation. Then do it carefully and try to do anything that you can to protect yourself. Put things in place to help yourself. And that includes helping mentally because that is a huge burden. It is very, very taxing to be in a toxic relationship. So if you cannot do any kind of counseling, then there are still some practices that you can do to try to help yourself. And self healing practices, some meditation, maybe even some like If you like Reiki, there's guided videos on that. See if that feels good to you. If and this is just stuff to try to help you take something mentally off. It doesn't pull you out of the situation. It doesn't make the situation okay. It doesn't heal the situation. But if it's anything to help you help yourself, then that is a good thing. And I hope that you can do more of that. And I hope that you get out of the situation. Even if it takes you a little bit of time, I hope that you get out of that situation. And especially if there are children involved. So, anyway, for everyone else, look out for the red flags and listen to your elders or at least the people that know better that have been there. Listen to us, okay, when we say to look out for this and don't put up with that and all of the things, all right? We're saying it for a reason. We're trying to look out for you, okay? We're like momming you, we're being the big sister or whatever. Like, listen, we're trying to have your back here. That's all that is, all right? All right, take care of yourself. If I remember to send some links at the bottom, I will. And I have my random TikTok videos as well. Don't know how much I'm going to be able to be uploading. I'm kind of sporadic with that. It is what it is. But yeah, all right, take care. Bye.